86.4. That's the current win percentage of the Golden State Warriors. In an 82-game season, that's a record of 71-11. While their offense has been exceptional, behind the greatness of MVP candidate Steph Curry, it's actually their smothering defense that has been the recipe for such a hot start. Rightfully so, Draymond Green has quickly emerged as a favorite to win the Defensive Player of the Year award. But just how much value does he add on that end of the floor? Is his elite passing and off-ball play enough to make him a positive on offense despite a very limited scoring arsenal? And when you put it all together, is he an all-NBA level player? It's no secret that a majority of Draymond Green's value as a player comes on the defensive side of the ball, showcasing a combination of length, IQ, and versatility that could only be matched by few in NBA history. Whereas most traditional defensive anchors tend to stand around 7 feet tall, at just 6'6", Draymond controls that end of the floor as well as anyone. He seems to always be a step ahead of the offense, able to quickly dissect exactly how they're looking to attack and positioning himself to turn away the biggest threat to score. Here he's tasked with chasing Gary Trent Jr. on this relocation, but quickly communicates a switch with Curry after recognizing that Siakam is looking to drive. He then puts himself in perfect position to protect the rim from this layup. On this one, Draymond first roams into the lane to help cover the high pick and roll. After that fizzles out, he slides over to tag the cutting Isaac Okoro. Then he quickly recovers to the corner man where he can blow up this dribble drive with one swipe at the ball. It's this constant activity and knowledge of where and when to place himself that makes him a nightmare in help situations, and his agility allows him to recover to his man at will. Here he's got both feet in the restricted area by the time Ja gets in the lane, forcing an awkward kickout pass that he gets a hand on before recovering for the rare 3-point block. Except when it comes to Draymond, it's actually not so rare, consistently roaming near the paint to bother potential inside threats while limiting the effectiveness of kickout passes with those elite recoveries. This is most noticeable when he's playing on the weak side of the floor, and it's how he's able to prevent so many points at the rim despite his smaller stature. Of course it helps that he was blessed with a 7'1" wingspan, but it's how well he uses his length that makes him such a strong rim protector. He's so good at targeting the ball while in the air that even the league's craftiest finishers struggle obtaining a better angle upon release, and the timing on his jumps makes it very difficult to get the ball over him. He rarely ever makes the mistake of not going completely vertical on these contests, except for when he goes to his signature backwards jump. You'll often see him jump back instead of straight up when challenging slashers, a move he's been doing for the better part of a decade. This throws off the balance of players moving downhill as they're expecting to hit a body, and that length allows him to still target the ball and affect the shot. These techniques are maximized through his ability to cover ground while in a backpedal. It's almost impossible for attacking offensive players to catch him off balance because of just how well he controls his body. This helps him when defending the pick and roll, where he's able to overplay the ball handler just enough to limit the threat of a pull-up jumper while still sliding back into position to prevent the roll man from scoring. He often blows up lobs in the same way, baiting guards into a false sense of security before pouncing on the ball, again showcasing that ridiculous timing. Per Synergy's tracking data, opposing players are shooting just under 26% from the field with Draymond Green defending the pick and roll, and with just over 0.5 points allowed per possession, he ranks in the 92nd percentile so far this season. He doesn't always play in between in these spots though. Oftentimes you'll see Golden State switch on these screens because of just how capable he is defending on the perimeter. He moves his feet extremely well, quickly reacting to the movement of offensive players as he constantly readjusts his stance to cut off potential driving angles. His goal is to force players to shoot over him, where he can rely on his length and timing to bother on the contest. When defending larger wings, he can pressure the ball a bit more without having to worry about quick changes of direction, which is where he's at his best as a man defender. You'll often see him swipe at the ball on these players with looser handles, and his quick hands allow him to alter passes thrown right in front of his face. This is a pretty big staple of his on-ball defense, the ability to cut off potential cutting routes and entry passes with his absurd reaction time. You'll see this a lot when he's defending the high pick and roll, this time as the ball handler, positioning himself to prevent the ball from getting to the roller and alter every attempt to do so. In the post, he uses his center of gravity well to not get moved off his position, and he may have a trick or two up his sleeve for fouling in these spots without getting called. He's good at poking the ball out when they bring it low or put it on the deck, and he's got great instincts for blowing up entry passes. However, these strengths don't do much against the league's more disciplined post scorers, as his lack of size allows these players to seal him off down low and finish right over him. It's for this reason I wouldn't quite consider him a tier 1 rim protector, but he's good enough to serve as the primary one on an elite defense. Allowing him to position himself where he can see the entire floor and communicate all screens, switches, and help coverages brings the best out of his teammates, and makes him one of the best team defenders the game has ever seen. Draymond's ability to elevate his team defensively, when paired with his own individual game, makes him a defensive anchor to the highest degree. Golden State is currently forcing the 4th most turnovers while allowing the lowest field goal percentage in the entire NBA. And with all of those missed shots, it's important to secure rebounds. While Draymond isn't out there grabbing 14 boards a game, he's still very valuable on the defensive glass. You'll often see him guide the ball into the hands of teammates with controlled tips, and he boxes out as well as anyone. He's more than capable of closing these possessions on a consistent basis, and when paired with his abilities as a primary rim protector, this allows him to play lots of minutes at the 5. He's the ultimate small ball engine, not only because of how much he does defensively at that position, but how it impacts the offense. He turns defensive stops into transition opportunities at will, pushing the ball full speed down the middle of the court to open up teammates. Sometimes he'll take these all the way to the corner for backdoor cuts, or he'll just take it all the way to the rim himself if nobody's going to stop him. He's also one of the better outlet passers in the game, consistently hitting teammates in stride as they get out on the break. In many ways, he controls the pace of the game. When these options fizzle out, he'll just slow it down and initiate the Warriors' half-court offense. Draymond is usually serving as an exploitative passer, surveying the floor as off-ball actions take place and making decisions based on how the defense reacts. It feels like he's incapable of making the wrong read at times, often anticipating openings before they even appear and placing the ball perfectly. This is especially noticeable when he plays next to Steph, maximizing the value of that unique off-ball gravity through his quick-hitting dimes to cutters. He's not afraid to take risks when passing the ball, and because of how good he is operating with tight windows, he's able to make tons of high leverage assists while keeping his turnovers relatively low. While most of his initiation does come from the perimeter, he's also used quite a bit as a post playmaker. More of the same, reading off-ball actions and hitting cutters or shooters the moment they open up. And although he isn't Hakeem Olajuwon, sometimes he'll even catch defenders off guard with a quick spin move and finish at the rim. He's actively involved in dribble handoffs to free up shooters, and when he feels that his man is jumping out on the screen, he'll fake it into a hard dribble drive. He's not a prominent advantage creator for his team, but he's amazing at working with those advantages created by others. This is most noticeable when he's playing off the ball, more specifically in the short roll. Both Steph Curry and Jordan Poole create a decent amount of 4-on-3 opportunities after drawing a double in the high pick and roll, allowing Draymond to make decisions while going downhill. If the big steps up to cut off his drive, he'll counter with a quick and effortless lob to whoever's in the dunker spot. If a corner defender rotates to prevent that from happening, he'll kick it out to the open shooter. And if everyone is too occupied with whoever they're guarding, he'll just do it himself. This is a testament to just how crazy his processing speed actually is, instantly reacting to however the defense moves and making the most efficient play possible. He's able to compensate for his lack of a consistent outside shot in this way, often catching the ball and bouncing straight into a dribble handoff to catch the defense off guard, or rescreening himself to help shooters easily relocate. He's almost always available as a quick and easy passing outlet for give and goes, and this allows him to easily flow into a two-man game with anyone, both on the perimeter and in the post. Although he's never been a very good scorer, so far this season he's been getting to the rim at a very respectable rate. If we look at the percentage of field goal attempts at the rim each year of his career, only that magical 2016 season is higher. This has had quite the effect on his overall scoring efficiency, again only second to 2016, and that's with him shooting a career low from the free throw line. Who knows exactly how long this holds up, but in its current standing, I feel comfortable saying his scoring hasn't been much of a detriment to the team, and with everything else he does on offense at a high level, I would say he's probably a neutral to very small positive. On the defensive end, he may very well be the best in the entire game right now, and when you combine the two, that right there is an all-NBA level player. Despite averaging an uninspiring triple-single and having a very limited scoring arsenal, there's no denying how valuable Draymond Green is on the basketball court. adding impact in some of the most unique ways in NBA history. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn my post notifications on to be first on more content. If you're interested in my more in-depth research, make sure to check out my website, podcast, and social media profiles. You can find those links in the description. Feel free to let me know down in the comments where you think Draymond Green stacks up in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation and what the Warriors' ceiling as a team is. As always, I hope you all have a great day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.